Hey, hey. Looks like we already have some people hopping in, early birds. Hi, Arisha. Hi, Stacy. Haley. Hey, Haley. Lori, good to see you guys. You guys can type in the chat real quick and let me know where you're tuning in from so I can make sure you can hear me and the chat is working properly. That would be fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so I can get everything set up. Why isn't it working? There we go. All righty. Okay, let's open up the chat box and get it ready to go. All right, Arisha is tuning in from Ohio. Welcome. And let's get the Q&A box open. And then lastly, this one. Okay, I think I got everything squared away and ready to go. Rita, Paulette, thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Good to see you, Stacy. All right, we'll give everyone a few minutes to hop on, but while we're waiting for everybody, drop your name and where you're tuning in from in the chat. Stacy's from Missouri. Me too, Stacy. I am going live right from Lee Summit. Where are you at? What area of Missouri are you in, Stacy? All righty. Can you guys all see my screen? Can you put a thumbs up if you guys can see my screen okay? Ontario. Rita's from Ontario. Awesome. We've got some great, awesome students and a wonderful coach in our program from Canada. Paulette says she's from Florida. Love Florida. Awesome. Thank you for the thumbs up. I'm going to go ahead and dive in and get started. Appreciate you guys joining me on a Saturday morning. So welcome to our webinar, and I'm really excited to dive in and talk about your journey into business ownership. So we can help you learn how you can work from home or work from the road and be able to achieve your personal goals when it comes to financial, location, and time preferences and freedom. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And for those of you who don't know me, if you're totally new here, my name is Tiffany Higgins. I'm a CPA. I'm a mom of 5. I founded the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy after my family experienced all the wonderful things from starting a bookkeeping business, all the benefits that we really weren't even planning on or expecting to. When I first started my business, I was hoping to pick up a couple of clients so I could stay home with my 3rd daughter. And before I knew it, I had enough clients that my husband was able to leave his corporate job and I could pay for all of the expenses for our family. And so obviously from there, we realized that there was no ceiling to this business and that we could do whatever we wanted with it. So we just continued to grow it and took turns taking care of the kiddos. And we all got to be home together the whole time. And it only took me about 7 months to get to the position where I could cover all of my family's bills really easily and then be able to bring my husband home. So, and that was with no mentor, never had a business before, didn't know anything about marketing or how to price my services or anything like that. So it was all trial and error for me, and I was still able to reach that within about 7 months. So what this is all about is me explaining to you guys exactly what that roadmap is, so you guys can learn how to replicate exactly what I did, so you can have the same success, but even faster than I did, which was really cool. But on Christmas Eve of 2015, my husband got to quit his job, and it was a really awesome Christmas present. And I'll show you guys, if you get started right now, what you can accomplish before Christmas time in your business as well, which I think you guys will all be pretty excited about. Hey, John, good to see you on here. I know we've been emailing, so let me know if you have any questions. And welcome, Michael. I see you just joined as well. So the whole time while I had my bookkeeping business and we were working from home on a completely flexible schedule, we decided to go for kid number 4 and ended up getting twins. And during that time, I nursed the twins exclusively, which if you guys don't know why I say that, it's a lot of work and it's very time demanding. It's like an all-day thing. And on top of that, we moved to a different city, and we also started homeschooling our older kids. So we had 5 kids, all of them home 24/7, homeschooling them, nursing twins. And my husband and I were able to not only successfully maintain our bookkeeping business, but also grow it. And we were making more money than we had ever made together, even combined in our salaries before. But we didn't have to miss a single minute with our kids, which at times could be stressful because you guys all know how kids are. But it was really the best thing that ever happened to us. And we really want to share that with everyone else and show you guys how that you can have your cake and eat it too. Okay, I think my thing was buffering, so hopefully you guys could hear all of that. And so we started the Bookkeeper Academy specifically for that, so we could show people how they can copy what we did and have their cake and eat it too, like we did. So our mission here at the Bookkeeper Academy is to empower people to become financially independent without sacrificing connectivity with their families, by offering the education and the framework to launch their own bookkeeping business from home. So that's what we stand for. That's why we're here. Our motto, as some of you guys know, is have your cake and eat it too, because we want you to be able to experience having financial freedom, but also getting to choose your own schedule and spending as much time with your kids as you want. All right. So I'm curious who all is attending today. If you have been on one of my webinars in the past, type a 1 in the chat so I know and know who I'm talking to and how to explain things. But if you haven't been here yet, this is your first live webinar with me, type a 2. All right, Paulette's been here before. Yes, yes. And welcome, John. Welcome, Stacy. You guys are welcome. Oh, welcome, Rita. I've got lots of new people. This is great. Welcome, Arisha. So you guys are welcome to come on as many webinars as you want. We want you to feel super comfortable jumping into this. You're welcome to bring your significant other. Sean, my husband, is on this call as well, and he's probably going to be reaching out to you guys to follow up after this. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me now, but you can also ask Sean after the webinar is over as well. You can come back to multiple webinars so you can really get a solid understanding of what this is all about and really know what you're jumping into. You're also welcome to bring a spouse, significant other, family member, anybody else that is going to help you make a decision to start your own business. You're welcome to bring them or invite them. So thank you guys so much for being on here. Also, we're going to go over a ton of information here. So I'm going to stay on until all the questions are answered. If you have to leave early, that's okay. This will be recorded. We're going to send you the recording. But if you can stay on through the end, that is awesome. I will stay on too and answer every single question. Sometimes these webinars do last quite a while because you guys all have really great questions. So just know that if you can't stay on, feel free to pop back on if you have to pop off, or we will send you the recording and you can always hop on another one as well. So, and just so you know, I do these every Thursday and every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Here in a couple weeks, though, we are going to Jamaica to celebrate Kaylee Douglas. She's one of our students that joined our program 4 years ago, and she's on her way to surpass a $500,000 bookkeeping business. She is 26 years old and has been able to achieve all those things that I was able to achieve in my bookkeeping business as well. So we're actually going to Jamaica with her and her husband to celebrate their success. So there will be a couple of Saturdays and a Thursday there that we won't be on. But for the most part, every Thursday and Saturday, 10 a.m. Central Time, this is where we'll be. And again, you guys are always welcome to respond back to Sean's text messages, and he will answer any questions you have as well. But as we're going through this, feel free to, comment in the chat anytime you have a question or a thought or anything like that. But if you do have a real important question you want to make sure that I don't miss, just pop it in that Q&A feature so that way I can check it off as we go. So welcome, Michael, as well, too. All right, so I would like to dive in and let you guys know what the agenda is for today. The very first thing we're going to go over is the investment options. What does it look like to join the Bookkeeper Academy, and how much is it going to cost to get started? And I want to show you guys about our new guaranteed approval program that we just got approved for a couple of weeks ago. And this is where 100% of everyone will be approved to join our program. And it's the smallest payment plan that we've ever offered in the past. And it doesn't matter if you don't have an income or if you have bad credit, you are immediately approved as long as you can afford the monthly payment. So I'm going to go over that so that way you guys know right from the beginning what we are all about here. And then you can see how a bookkeeping business and getting that started will be able to cover that investment and then some. So we're going to go over that as well. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is like defining your goals. Why are you here? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to change in your life? And if you accomplish those goals, how would your life change for the better? So we want to determine like a baseline of that and really help you guys get crystal clear on exactly what you want changed and what you want to see happening for your life, for your family. And we'll go over all those goals here in a minute. And then from there, I'll be able to show you why a bookkeeping business is ideal for your family and how you can utilize it to help you reach the goals that we just set. So that's going to be the meat of the call. So you'll be able to walk away with a lot of really great info to get your family game plan together and really map this journey out so you can feel really confident that it's going to be the right move for you guys. And then, of course, lastly, we're going to show you exactly how our team delivers the support that you need to be able to set the foundation for your bookkeeping business, whether you have accounting background or you've never even heard of QuickBooks before. So we can really help you solidify the foundation for your bookkeeping business so that you can make a lot of money into the future, but also have the time freedom because you can't buy your time back. So that's really important. So details first, we're going to talk about the Academy investment. We're going to be talk about really quick how you can get started with the guaranteed funding program, and then what you can expect as far as like return on investment, how much you can make. And then we'll dive into the meat of it. So our Bookkeeper Academy program is $12,000 for 12 months of support. And we help you learn the skill of being a bookkeeping business owner so that you can make $100,000 in your first year. So you literally go from making $0 potentially in your business to making over $100,000 a year, working part-time hours, even if you're starting with little to no experience. And obviously, like I mentioned, we have payment plans here as well. But the whole goal of this here is that you're going to have a close to a 10x return on investment. So you're going to take that $12,000 investment, and we're going to show you exactly how to make as close to $120,000 as possible, over $100,000. So close to a 10x return on investment. Now, if you are investing in the stock market or real estate or a savings account or a CD, you won't come anywhere close to this kind of return on investment. So what we always recommend is the best thing for you to do is invest in yourself first, invest in a business, in your business, grow your business, and then use the profit from your business to invest in those other things that are completely passive, like your 401k or real estate or a savings account or whatever else you want to invest in. But your biggest return on investment is always going to be investing in yourself and reinvesting in your business. So that's what this 10x ROI is all about. And we want to help you make sure that you get that return on your investment. So one question that I always like to ask on these calls is, I know sometimes people have never even made $100,000 in their life before in one solid year. And so I would like for you guys to drop a 1 or 2 in the chat if you believe that you can, with the right guidance and the right mentorship and the right opportunity, could you make $100,000 in 12 months? So type a 1 if yes, I do believe in myself that I could accomplish that with the right guidance, or a 2 for no, I really honestly can't possibly imagine how I could ever make that kind of money for my family. So tell me that 1 or 2. We see lots of 1s. Rita and Arisha says 1. Paulette says 1. Jasmine says 1. Welcome, Jasmine. Stacy says 1. John says 1. Awesome. Okay, great. So it seems like most people on the call are open to the possibility that yes, they could definitely do that. Great. Because that's the first hurdle. I just want to let you guys know. The only thing that could ever possibly hold you back from not making this is your own mind and your own beliefs. So that's something that we help with in the Academy as well, is really helping you open your mind to possibilities and helping you overcome any obstacles that you might throw in front of yourself. It's very common for people to be nervous when they start a business or have fear, or even sometimes self-sabotage. So we really help you work past all of that so that you can reach your goals and get exactly what you want for your family. So I'm glad you guys all feel very positive and open-minded to the fact that you can make $100,000 in a year. So again, just real quick, due to the success that our students have and the way that our program is arranged, where you can start making money literally from day one, we have gotten approved from our funding specialist to have a guaranteed approval program. So like I said, no matter what, even if you have horrible credit or you don't even have a job right now, as long as you can confirm that you can somehow come up with a monthly payment, at least for the first few months until you start get clients rolling in, then you get automatically approved for our program. So everyone gets approved. And that's due to the simple fact that our students have such great success and they can start making money so quickly. The lender feels like it is a comfortable program to offer for our students specifically, which is fantastic and very flattering, honestly. So I'll just go over this really quick. The monthly payment amount is dependent on your credit score, but the highest possible payment, even if you have the worst credit ever, let's say you have a 300 credit score, the highest possible payment for our 12-month Bookkeeper Academy program is $640. So it's less than a car payment, and you can turn around and literally buy a new car with your bookkeeping business, which I'll show you all about that in a minute. But it won't go higher than that for now. It's locked in at that max monthly rate for a limited time. Could be as low as $290 per month if you do have good credit. That's based on your personal situation. But again, the max that you would ever have to pay is $640 per month. Now it's stretched out over 24 months, so there is interest involved. However, as you start working through the program and you get clients, you can pay it off within 12 months, and then it's interest-free, which is really cool and very easy for you to be able to do. And I'll show you exactly how and when you'd be able to pay it off on some upcoming slides here. So that's really, really awesome. How do you guys feel? Type a yes in the chat or a 1 or a 2, depending on how you feel about that monthly payment, assuming that this program is perfect for you and assuming that you're going to get that 10x return on investment. Would you be able to swing a monthly payment of $640 for a few months until clients start rolling in? So type a 1 if yes, 2 if you're just like not sure, you'd have to like work some things around. And this would be assuming that you at 100% interested in moving forward with starting your business. All right, thank you, Paulette. She said 2, got to move some stuff around, think about it, figure that out. So again, you could definitely, as long as you have an idea of how you would come up with the first 2 to 3 payments, most of our students have plenty of clients coming in by that time that their business would cover it, and then some, obviously. And I'll show you exactly what that timeline looks like for most of our students. John says 1, awesome. Okay, so who put a thumbs up in the chat if you are ready to get started, or if you can find the fire emoji, do that one. I want to show you guys how you can make $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 per month, starting from ground zero and working 40 hours a week or less. So drop a thumbs up or a fire emoji if you're ready to hear exactly how all of that works. All right, Stacy's ready. Okay, so first thing, like I mentioned, I want to get started with just going over real quickly about your goals. Help you set some goals for your family. And then that way it'll help me show you exactly what the roadmap would be for you to reach those goals, because obviously this journey is different for everybody. And so it totally depends on what you're going for, what you're striving for. So I'm going to go over some of those items, and we'll work on setting these specific goals and map out how this bookkeeping business will help you reach them. Then you'll have complete clarity on what to expect should you decide to move forward with starting a bookkeeping business. We'll go back to this. So we're going to talk about financial goals, time goals, and location goals, because all of these are important to our quality of life and to the things that, we're wanting to accomplish. But I like to start with financial goals because you can't accomplish your time and location and other goals unless you've reached your financial goals. Money is the most important thing to be able to accomplish the other things. So we have to start with that. Whether you love money, don't care about it, whatever, it's important. You have to have it to be able to reach the other goals. So we're going to start off with that. So when we talk about financial goals, money goals, I break these down into 3 different categories. And this really helps you as you're working through your business. You can start with like a very starter goal, and then it gives you confidence. Oh my gosh, I met that first goal in just like a couple of months. Okay, now goal number 2, I met that goal in maybe 3 months. And then goal number 3. And then before you know it, you're setting these crazy massive goals that you never even dreamed you would ever be setting. As I mentioned earlier, going to Jamaica with Kaylee, she's 26. When she started this business, when she was 23, she had no idea she was going to be making $500,000 a year as a 26-year-old. So it just happens slowly over time. Your goals start to expand. But let's start with the basic. Let's start with the bare minimum goal. That's goal number 1. So this one is one that would give you confidence that you're on the right path, basically establishing proof of concept for your business. So for me, back in 2015, my bare minimum goal was only $2,000 a month. Back then, I was making about $3,500 a month after taxes at my CPA job, and I was paying a nanny $1,500 a month to watch my kids while I was gone. I didn't want them to go to daycare, so I really ended up overpaying for childcare services, but it felt good to me at the time. But $2,000 a month was like that extra $1,500 fee to the nanny was really making us struggle. And so I thought, if I'm only going to be netting $2,000 a month from my job, I might as well just like work from home, work for myself, get a couple of clients. I worked at the CPA firm and I did the bookkeeping there, and I saw what my boss charged them, and I knew how long it took because I was the one doing it. So I knew if I went out on my own, I would only need to find a couple of clients, 2 to 4 clients, and be able to bring in $2,000 a month. And I knew it was only going to take me a few hours a week to do it because that's exactly what was happening at my job. And so for me, it was worth the risk to just jump out. I quit my job and I thought, I'm just going to try it. I'm going to see if I can find a couple of clients. Worst case scenario, I could always go back to a job or whatever, but I wanted to try it. So my first goal, my bare minimum goal, was to just get back to where I was. So that was $2,000 a month. So can you type in the chat, what would be your first goal, your bare minimum goal that you would want to reach for yourself, for your family when you start your business? Type that in the chat. And it could be anything, whatever you feel like would be like the first thing. If you could drop down to part-time, or if you felt comfortable quitting your job, what is that number that you would need? Paulette says 4K. John says 4K too. 3,500 for Jasmine and Stacy. Awesome. Yes. And of course, my goal was back in 2015. So everything's more expensive now. So yep. 4,000 for Arisha. That makes a lot of sense. Awesome. Okay. And keep these in mind. Keep these in mind. Okay. So then the next goal, your financial goal number 2, this is one where you're like comfortable and content. Maybe you've been able to quit your job, and you can cover all of your bills. For us, it was like not having to worry about grocery prices, being able to cover all the bills with my bookkeeping business so that my husband could retire, things like that. It didn't push us into like a different income bracket, but it definitely helped us start reaching some of our lifestyle goals. And at the same time, we didn't have to stress about money. We still wanted things that we couldn't afford, and we wanted to be able to do stuff or buy things that we still had to kind of budget for. But this, at least, we could breathe and we didn't have to stress or worry at this level. So for us at the time, it was around $5,000 to $6,000 per month. So what would be your goal number 2 that would give you this sense of feeling where you didn't have to stress, you didn't have to worry? Maybe you couldn't do anything extra, that you've been looking for and wanting to do, but at least you are content, you're covered, you're worry-free. What would that goal be? Drop that in the chat. Jasmine says 5,000. Arisha says 6,000. Stacy says 7,500. Awesome. 6,000 for John. Awesome. Great. Okay. Awesome. And then for goal number 3, Paulette says 55 to 6,000. Love it. Goal number 3, this one is your wow goal. So this is the one where, like, if you guys right now are in jobs and you like have this bucket list of things that you want to do, like for me, it was like, I watched my boss traveling all the time. He would take lots of time off and he would go travel. and he would have the money to travel, but he would also have the freedom and flexibility. And so for me, it was being able to do those kinds of things. And to do that, I needed to make at least $10,000 a month. That was my goal. I wanted to buy a car. We did end up buying a car, and we even paid it off super early. We took an extended vacation without worrying about money at all. So not having to worry about budgeting if your kids just need some extra thing at school, or if you've got some extra added expense, it doesn't even, stress you out at all. So what is that wow goal that you have for yourself that would really make you guys feel amazing? And you'd be able to start knocking off some bucket list items that you've been really wanting to tackle. John says 12 to 15. Awesome. Arisha says 10. Jasmine says 10. Yep. Great. Fantastic. Stacy says 12. Great. I love that. Okay. So keep those goals in mind too, and then start thinking a little bit about what you would do with that extra money. And we're going to talk about that on an upcoming slide as well. But I want to pivot real quick to time goals. So time is really one of the biggest reasons why people want to do this as well, because your time is very precious. And especially if some of you have little kids here that you want to spend more time with, or your family, you can't get that time back. And so having that time availability for your family right now is super, super important. So I'm curious right now, let's tally up all of the hours that you're currently away from your family doing work, or currently focused on your current job. If you don't work, think about how many hours a week you would have to work to reach your wow goal, or even your bare minimum goal, and tally that up. And you want to include all the time that you're away. So if you commute, include the drive. So for me, I had to work a normal full-time job, but I only worked 5 minutes from home. So it was like about 40 hours a week I was gone. But my husband, he had to work in downtown Kansas City. He was fighting traffic every day, and he had to be there over a lunch hour and things like that. So he was typically gone about 60 hours a week. So type in the chat, how many hours a week are you currently focused on your current job, away from family, not having the time freedom that you want? So type that in the chat. Stacy's gone 55 to 60 hours a week. Jasmine, 35 hours. Let's see. Paulette, 45 to 50. John is 45. Arisha is 40. Yep. Okay, awesome. Now think about what would your ideal schedule be? How many hours a week would you want to focus on it? And this is a personal preference. So for those of you that have little kids at home, or other, interest or priorities, maybe it's 20 hours a week. For those of you that maybe have grown kids, or you don't have kids at home at all, maybe you still want to work your normal work week, but you just want to reap the benefits of having your own business. So it's totally personal, and every answer is correct, but type in the chat, how many hours a week do you want to work on your business? Arisha says no more than 25. Stacy wants to do 25. John wants to do 40. Jane wants to do 40. Hey, Jane, welcome. I had a feeling, John, you were going to still want to work full-time based on our conversation. And that is cool, because I can show you how much you can really make. Paulette says 15 to 25. All right, this is awesome. Okay, and keep in mind, with a bookkeeping business, you get to choose the time of day you work, the day of the week you work, and you can even change it up from week to week. It's so super flexible when you do this work, because most of the bookkeeping work is needing to be done on a rolling monthly basis. So you don't have to have the same hours every single day, or even every single week if you don't want. But these numbers are super important to really be planning out your roadmap here soon. Okay, and then lastly, location freedom goals. So does anybody have a desire to work from home, or maybe work from the RV, or maybe be able to travel while they work? Drop in the chat exactly where you would want to be able to work from, and what your location goals are for your business, or for your family, really. A lot of people have restrictions for their job, or they have a commute, they have to go into their job. Or even if you do work from home at your current job, are you able to move around? Are you able to set your own schedule? Are you able to travel if you want to travel? So Stacy says she wants to work from home and she wants to travel. Anybody want to work from an RV? Anybody want to be able to, work from family and friends' house if you want to go see them, or even just be able to work from home? Arisha says, I was working from home, but I wanted to travel and be able to take work with me if I need to set my own schedule. Yes, I love that. John says, home and travel as well. RV, yes. Jasmine says, I want to work from home and travel as well. Jane says, home and travel. Kids are all out of state. Yes, yes. And so that way you could go see them. I have a student I'll talk about here in a little bit. Her name's Lacey, and she just loves her bookkeeping business because she has a mom that is going through cancer treatments, and she is able to travel across state and be with her while she's working her bookkeeping business. And she also just had a daughter living in another state as well, who just had a baby like a couple days ago. And she was able to go spend like the last 2 weeks with her leading up to the baby's birth and not have to miss out on any of that, because she can take her business anywhere with her. So that's great. Paulette says, home, travel overseas to be near my mom. Yes, absolutely. I love that. Okay, awesome. So then lastly, there's always these awesome, fun additional goals to think about that a bookkeeping business can help you accomplish. So we've had a lot of students go through our program. They've hit those first 3 financial goals, and then they started knocking off the bucket list items. Paying off debt is a huge one. We're really big advocates of being debt free. That's our main goal, is being debt free, so you can have freedom, so you can be able to, do whatever you guys want to do without being tied down to a bunch of debt. So we had a student who was homeschooling 4 of her kiddos and decided to start this business up. Her husband went through like 8 years of advanced chiropractic school, and then he ended up having about $160,000 worth of student loan debt. She started her business, and in 2 years, she paid off his entire student loan debt. 100% of their bookkeeping business income went to paying that off. And so even though she was working part-time at home with 4 kids that she was homeschooling, she was able to pay off all of his chiropractic school debt, and she actually started making more money than he did, which was insane and incredible and exciting. But I've also had a lot of students be able to buy their first home and buy a nicer home than they ever thought they would. I have a student that I'm specifically thinking of that ended up buying like a $500,000 home as their first home, and they got approved for it based off of their bookkeeping business income, which is really exciting. But then I've had other students who like to invest and then also go on vacations and things like that. So what additional goals would you guys have once you reached all those first 3 financial goals and you kept going with your business and kept bringing in more money? What is one of the most important things that you would do for yourself? Type that in the chat. For us, celebrating my 1-year anniversary of my bookkeeping business, I decided to buy a new van. I'd never had a new car. I always had like super cheap junkers, and I really wanted a new van. And so we bought this. With my bookkeeping business money completely. Within about 6 months, I completely paid it off. It was a $45,000 van. And we still actually drive this car. It's our primary vehicle today. And we then took our kids in that van on a 16-day vacation across the country. And we stopped in Estes Park and went hiking. We went to Mission Beach and we hung out on the beach. And then we went to the Grand Canyon before coming back home. And the whole time I funded this with my bookkeeping business income, and I was able to keep up on the work. I did the bare minimum while we were gone, and I just caught up on my work when we got back. So it was very flexible. It was really, really awesome. We were even able to then like buy an upgraded house with a pool and a tennis court and all that kind of stuff, and literally got approved on that based off of my bookkeeping business income. So it's really cool what you can accomplish as you get this compounding effect of results from your bookkeeping business. It just keeps going. So it says, let's see, John says he would pay off his mortgage and invest in travel. I love that. Irisha says relocate and debt payoff. And let me know if I'm saying your name wrong. feel free to correct me. Jasmine says paying off debt. Stacy says pay off debt and build a new house. And John says Mission Beach is awesome. It really is. Everywhere over there, San Diego area is gorgeous. So now that we have a lot of clarity for your goals, I want to show you guys the exact roadmap so that you know how you can reach them, when you can expect to reach them, and be set very realistic goals so you understand. And then that way, you'll be able to take advantage of our 100% guaranteed approval process, get in the academy, and just start hammering away at these goals. And where you're going to be by Christmas time is going to be exciting. Okay, good, Arisha. I'm glad I'm saying it correctly. Paulette says debt build investment portfolio. Yes. Let's see. So first thing I want to go over is the average time it takes our students to reach various levels of consistent, reoccurring, and dependable monthly income in their bookkeeping business. So there's a couple of things to note about this chart. First thing is there's a lot of different ways to make money in your bookkeeping business, but the most consistent one that you can count on all the time, if you decide I'm never going to do another ounce of marketing again, then this is consistent income that will be coming to you every single month. Because when you sign up a client for bookkeeping, we show you how to do it in a way that they sign on for all future months. And once a client comes on, if you do a good job for them, they never want to leave. On occasion, here and there, you'll have clients that'll close down their business, or maybe there's one or two people that are just not a good personality fit to work with you. And that's okay. That happens. 100% of your clients aren't going to stay, but I'm talking 90% of your clients will stay month to month to month, year to year to year. When I sold my bookkeeping business, all of the clients that I had originally in that first year were still with me. So this is the consistent income that you can get. Now we're going to talk about in a little bit how you can make other money that's really going to help you knock off these bucket list items soon. Like when you get a new client, they have cleanup work that needs to be done, and you can charge a big chunk of change for that at the beginning. But I want to talk about realistic money that you can depend on that doesn't vary from month to month. So that's what this chart is. And chart is also based on the fact that our typical student is working a 40+ hour work week, and they have young kids at home. So they have very limited time to get things rolling. So if you find yourself as somebody that can invest more than an hour a day in your business, your results are going to be quicker and better than this chart. But if you can spend at least an hour a day, this is the amount of money you can kind of expect to make as you're growing your business in reliable, dependable, ongoing monthly income. So what we typically see from our students is that they add about $1,000 a month to their reoccurring book of business for every month they're in business. So for example, if you got started today, by Christmas time, you could be very close to making $3,000 a month in your business. And that's really exciting because we're coming up on tax season. And when you hit tax season and you've already built this momentum, you've already got some stuff going, your marketing's going, you can really expedite these results as you go into tax season because so many more people are looking for clients. So by the time, March gets here and we're about 6 months, you could be maybe even up to the $8,000 to $10,000 mark by the end of March. So it varies a little bit, and it really has a lot to do with how much time that you want to focus on it. But this is typically what we see for most of our students. It also falls pretty close in line with what happened with me. I was about to $5,000-$6,000 a month within the first 7 months of starting my business. Like I said, total trial and error, was really, just trying to make a little bit at first. So, but we have a straight on roadmap for you guys to follow that will get you these results really quickly. So, but this is typically what you can see. So type in the chat, how many months would it take you based on this chart to reach your first bare minimum goal? John says 4. Awesome. So by end of January, he'd be that. Stacy would be that almost by Christmas time. Love it. Could celebrate the new year with bringing in this new cash. Arisha says 4, so January. Jane would be at her first goal by February, mid to late February, possibly. Paulette says 4 to 5 in January. Awesome. Love it. Love it. Okay, so one thing that people ask a lot too, well, before I get into the clients thing, so just so you guys know, if you could invest $640 a month to get started and then turn around by Christmas time, be making about $3,000 a month, I believe that's a pretty good investment. Type yes in the chat if you agree with me. All right, Jane says yes. Stacy says yes. Paulette and John agree and say yes as well. Arisha says yes. Awesome. Okay, so to actually make that kind of money, you need clients, right? So let's talk about that for a second. How many clients do you need at these different revenue markers, right? So this chart is based on an average super small client. So when you get clients, they range, I've seen students charge anywhere from 99, which we don't usually recommend, but we usually recommend everyone starts at least at 300 a month. But I've seen it range from 99 a month all the way up to like $4,000 or $5,000 a month. So, but the average, the range of the typical meat of the clients is going to be like around $500 a month. That's what you'll kind of see. So this chart is based on that, your average client paying about $300, $500, $800 a month, something like that. So to get to these different levels, you just really need these super small amount of clients. So for me, my first goal at $2,000 a month, I knew I only needed like 4 clients. And that would be, not too hard to find. And then for my comfortable goal was like closer to 10, but then like my wow goal was like, I needed 20 clients. So, and again, this is assuming every client is rather small. It's kind of a range. A lot of our students do get somewhat larger clients, like 1,500, 2,200 per month, those kinds of clients. And I'll show you guys about that here in a minute on an upcoming slide. So if you get larger clients, obviously you're going to need less to reach your goals, but this kind of gives you an idea of what to expect. But for example, I'll tell you a little bit about Kim, one of our students. She got her first client last December, and this client paid her $2,200 a month. So she only needed 1 to hit her first milestone instead of 4. And when I had my bookkeeping business, I was making $20,000 a month, and I only had 33 clients instead of the 40 listed here. So just to give you guys an idea there, this is a range, but this is kind of a good like marker. So type in the chat, how many clients would you need to hit your first bare minimum goal? So for me, it was approximately 4. How many clients would you need? Stacy needs 6 to 8. Paulette needs 8 to 10. Love that. John needs 8. All right. Arisha needs 8 also. Now I'm going to show you, the next slide is going to be all about your odds. Are the odds in your favor to get 8 clients or 10 clients or 6 clients? So here's what the potential client pool looks like for you. This chart is from 2022. And well, it shows like the previous 6 years, but this was updated in 2022. And it shows there were 33.2 million businesses in existence. And as you can tell by this chart, every year it grows. But in fact, there's over 500,000 small businesses that are starting every single month. And bookkeepers and CPAs are retiring in droves, and there's really no one to replace them because there's been a huge decline in people interested in getting accounting degrees, probably because of the low pay and the long hours during tax season. But there's literally clients everywhere. There's never going to be a shortage, especially if you only need 40 clients to make $20,000 a month. There could be tons and tons of bookkeepers out there, and they would be like having a lot of clients and a lot of money coming in, and only be having to serve like 30 or 40 clients. So there's literally clients everywhere, never going to be a shortage, tons of fish in the sea, and there's never going to be enough bookkeepers out there to help everyone. But what's really cool is bookkeeping is a required service. It's not a luxury item that you have to try and convince someone that they need to buy, like Cincy or Mary Kay or something like that. This is something that all businesses have to do. They already know they need it. They're already convinced of the value. Sometimes at the beginning, they try to do it themselves. They usually just ignore it until there's some kind of pain point. They're getting an IRS letter or something like that, and then they are seeking you out. So, of course, we walk you through exactly how to find these clients and how to onboard them in our program. But I just want to showcase to you guys how many potential clients there are out there and that it is relatively easy to find them. So based on this potential client pool, put a thumbs up in the chat if you feel like it's going to be pretty dang doable to hit your goal, your client goal that you just put in here. Your 8 clients or your 6 clients or your 10 clients, put a thumbs up if you feel like, okay, yeah, I think there's enough clients for me. Stacy says thumbs up. John says thumbs up. And welcome, Brittany. I see Brittany joined us. Welcome. Okay. And now I'm going to move on to my favorite slide of this entire presentation. And this talks about how long it takes to actually do the bookkeeping work for your clients. This is the expected weekly time commitment you need to make to complete the bookkeeping work for clients at various income levels. Yes, thanks for joining us, Brittany. So for your very first goal of 2,000, my goal at least, you'd only have to work 4 hours per week. And like I told you, I knew that was possible because I was accomplishing that at my corporate job. But then when I went out on my own, I realized, yeah, it actually does work. And we've helped many, many students, all of our students reach this. So when you have clients that are paying you a total of $2,000 a month, doing the bookkeeping work for all of those clients, whether you have 1 or 4 clients, it's only going to take you 4 hours per week to do the work. So look at this chart here and find out where do you fall of your current income for your job. If it's like 5,000, let's say 5,000. And if you work 40 hours a week, but if you did your bookkeeping business instead, you'd only have to work 10, you would save 30 hours per week. So type in the chat, how many hours per week would you save if you switched from your job to running your own bookkeeping business? How many hours would you save? I've seen people save anywhere from 30 to 60 hours a week based on the jobs that they've been working. But what is it for you? For me, even that bare minimum goal, I was working over 40 hours and I was able to drop down to 4. So I saved 36 hours a week by starting my bookkeeping business. Now, keep in mind, at the beginning, you are going to be doing marketing. So there's going to be an additional time on that. But at some point, you may get to a level where you don't have to do marketing anymore because you're comfortable and then clients are just rolling in without any effort. And so that will happen to you. So once you get to that level, you really will only have to do the bookkeeping work. So Brittany says 32 hours would be saved per week. That is massive. Paulette says 40 to 42. John says 30. Wow. Stacy says 52 hours saved. Amazing. So imagine that for a minute. If you had all of that time back, you can spend it with your family. You can pick up a hobby. You can just enjoy life more. You can go on vacations. You can even reinvest some of that back into your business if you want. So that way you can hit goal number 2, goal number 3, start knocking off some of those bucket list items. So you can choose to do whatever you want with that extra time. And you can change it up from month to month. If for a couple months you're like, hey, this is a season of me putting a lot more time back into my business because I want to grow it really hard and really fast, you can do that. But if you have a season of like, I think I just want to learn how to play the drums and spend time with my family and go on bike rides, that's the season I'm in, then you can do that. So it's really awesome. And you can change it up. You can decide later on that you want to switch it up. But that's what's great about having this time freedom, because you will get to choose what to do with all of those hours that you are saving. So Brittany will have 32 hours a week that she can decide, do I want to put this into my business? Do I want to spend time with my family? Do I want to pick up a hobby? Paulette will have 40 to 42 hours to decide. John will have 30, Stacy will have 52, Arisha will have 30. So there's going to be all this time where you guys will be able to decide what and how you want to spend it. So this is a recap slide. You guys can take a screenshot of this if you want. It's like all of the different slides combined here, the average time to get to the monthly income, how many hours per week it's going to take you to do the bookkeeping work, and approximately how many clients that you're going to need. So this is the results that you can expect to have when you follow our roadmap and you follow our plan. Now, there's obviously a million different ways you can run your bookkeeping business, and I've seen it all, and I've networked with a lot of bookkeepers. But if you do it our way, this is what you can expect, these results here. So at this point, a lot of people are thinking, oh my gosh, this is so great, but it also sounds too good to be true. How is this possible? So I'm going to break it down and explain how does this high money, low time business work. Put a thumbs up in the chat if you are thinking the same thing and you're curious, like, how does this work? How can you actually have results like this? Brittany says thumbs up. Maybe some of you guys already know or understand. John says thumbs up. Stacy says thumbs up. Okay, so there's a couple of key factors as to how you can get those results that are very, very important. And if you don't follow these, you may not have these results. So this is why we work really closely with our students in the academy to make sure they follow these key pillars so they can absolutely have those results. The first one is probably the most important step, and it is proper quoting, learning how to properly quote. The hard part about quoting is that every client is a little different. So we do have some main criteria that we teach you on exactly how to quote for clients, and that is based on their industry, based on their revenue size, and then based on their organization. Do they have 5 accounts or do they have 50? So do they commingle their funds, things like that. So we help you determine exactly how to quote based on those main 3 factors. Sometimes there's additional things that do go into play, but those are the main 3 things. And it's kind of like a sliding scale depending on the industry, the revenue size, and their organization. In our academy, we've actually developed a quoting tool that you'll get to use, that once you answer a series of questions that you'll be able to ask your client, the quoting tool will actually spit out a price for you, and it will tell you exactly what to quote someone. Now, it's not super scientific. It's not exact every time. So what we always recommend is you put things through the quoting tool and then you present it to us. Hey, I've got this client. Here's all the information. Quoting tool says it should be this. What do you guys think? So sometimes we'll say, oh, well, add a little bit to this in because of this thing that you need to factor in and things like that. Over time, you will get really good with quoting, but it does take getting some experience working with 5, 10, 15, 20 clients before you really have it down where you don't have to think about it. But once you get the proper quoting down, that is going to be the first step in getting you guys time and financial freedom. Because if you underquote or undervalue your services, you're going to be working way harder than you need to for less money than you could, and you're going to get resentful to your clients. So we really help solidify the skill of proper quoting as step 1. And also, before we move on to this one, the other thing with quoting is this has been something that we have ironed out and fine-tuned over the last 8 years. And we know that every single potential quote for your client is something they can easily afford. So it's not even something that you guys would have to like work hard to convince your client. It's a no-brainer. And I'll show you on some upcoming slides how quickly and easily the business owners have just been like, yep, go ahead, let's get it done. And they see the value, they can easily afford the payment, and they move forward, and it's great. But the other key factor to having you make over $100 an hour, which if you look back at that chart, That's exactly what you guys are going to be making when you factor in how many hours it actually takes you to do the work. We don't bill hourly, we bill in a fixed price package. But if you calculate the number of hours that it takes you to do it and divide by the amount of money that you are able to charge, you're going to make a minimum of $100 an hour for most of your clients. And the reason that is possible, in addition to proper quoting, is having a really efficient workflow. So this is really important too, because we need to show you how to streamline how you're doing the work for each individual client. So that way you're not doing things that are unnecessary or like busy work. And you're also avoiding what we call scope creep, where your client may ask you to do things that's not really in the scope of what you are offering for them. And so we also help you just set up your workflow inside QuickBooks and leverage all of the automations that you can leverage in there, and just really work out in a very efficient way to do the bookkeeping. So that way, coupled with the proper quoting and the most efficient workflow, you guys are going to make over $100 an hour when you really track your time and calculate that against the fixed monthly fee that you charge for your clients. But the other cool thing too is we are helping you build a business with the end in mind. So think about this from a standpoint of, you guys are potentially leaving corporate jobs that you're working at right now. Many of you may make like $20, $30, $40 an hour at your corporate job. Well, in order for that business to actually have a healthy profit, they have to be able to pay you and then earn extra to be able to continue the business on in existence and have profit for the owners and things like that. So we're helping you build the business with that in mind from day one as well, assuming that someday you may want to hire employees. We want your business to be profitable so that when you have employees in the future, if you ever go that route, you can pay them easily and still have enough profit for yourself. So that's why in the beginning, when you don't have employees, you can make so much extra money because you are basically the owner and the employee, and you get the best of both worlds. You get the double benefit there. But when you do decide to branch out and start hiring people, we still want you to be super profitable. We still want you to have your cake and eat it too. We still want you to be able to have the time, financial, and location freedom that you want. So let me show you what that looks like if you ever do decide to hire an employee. So if you take a look at this slideshow again that we were just looking at, you'll see at the bottom, if you have a full-time employee that works 40 hours a week, they can handle doing the workload for clients that total $20,000 a month. So if you want to work full-time in your business, you can make $20,000 a month working 40 hours a week. But if you hire somebody to do it, your business can still bring in $20,000 a month, and they can handle all the workload for that. But did you know that the going rate for a full-time bookkeeper as an employee is only about between $4,000 and $5,000 a month? So you would actually be able to profit around $15,000 a month for every full-time employee that you have on your team. So even as you hire team members, your business will still have a healthy profit margin, monthly income, and you'll still be able to maintain the schedule and work-life balance that you want. So we're going to help you build the business with that in mind. So in the future, as you decide to start hiring people to work for you, you're still going to have the money rolling in that you need, because even at 15,000, I think that was like above most of everybody's wow goal, right? So you can literally reach your wow goal and have a team member doing 90% of the work. You'll always still have some administrative stuff to do, marketing, things like that, meeting with your team member. But if they're going to do the majority of the work, you're going to be exceeding your wow goal and really not having to even work much. So what do you guys think about that? And then, of course, this is another really cool thing I love. I get so excited about. We are also helping you build the business with the end in mind so that one day you could possibly sell this business. Bookkeeping businesses are incredibly attractive to investors, people that like to buy businesses. So attractive. And the reason is all these things on here. The reoccurring revenue from putting people in these fixed price packages where the money comes in consistently every month. Investors love that. They also love the fact that there's such a high profit margin even after hiring employees, which is really exciting. And you guys can Google, Forbes.com shows bookkeeping businesses in the top 3 of all businesses that are the most profitable. So investors really love that. And the business can really get to the point where it runs, the day-to-day runs without you, without the CEO, without the owner. And so the investor can really come in and buy a business like that really well. And these businesses can sell for anywhere from 1 to 2 times your annual revenue as a selling price. So, for example, let's say your business is kind of small. Maybe you're making $200,000 per year. If you decide to sell it, you can sell it for $200,000. If you have a business that's much larger, let's say it's $1 million, you could potentially sell it for $2 million. I have a friend that has about $1 million bookkeeping business, and she got an offer for like 2.2 million to be able to sell her business. So they're really attractive to potential buyers. And this could also be a built-in retirement plan for you. If you don't want to invest your earnings in your business right now into a 401k, think about what you could do with this business in 20 years, in 10 years, in 30 years, depending on, when you want to retire. You can actually use this. So Lacey, I told you about earlier, who's been traveling around to see her mom who's sick and her daughter who just had a baby. Her and her husband have a plan to grow this business up to 5 million, and then they want to sell it and retire and travel around. So it's really exciting. You can do whatever you want with it. You can keep it small so you can have like really a lot of time freedom. And then as your kids get older or you have more time, then you can really start focusing on expanding it and growing it. So it's awesome. So type in the chat if you guys would ever consider, like, type a yes if you think you'd ever want to have employees or you'd ever want to be able to sell your business. Curious to know what your guys' thoughts are on these. John says yes. Brittany says yes. Awesome. Jasmine says yes. Arisha says sell yes. Sell yes. I love that. Okay, so this is the meat of it. Like, as far as like, what does the day-to-day look like, the monthly income that's coming in, things like that. I kind of went over all of the like consistent parts about your business. But now I want to take a quick second to talk about some exciting things, some one-time things. And this is like backwork / cleanup opportunities for clients. One thing I haven't even talked about at all yet. But when you get a new client, 9 times out of 10, they have not done their bookkeeping. And this could be, maybe they didn't do it for like 9 months of the year. Maybe they didn't do it for the last several years. It's not uncommon. And like I said, 90% of the clients that you get are going to be in this situation, because most people, they think they can do it on their own. They try to dabble on it, and then eventually they give up, or they get stuck or stressed, or they get an IRS notice, or they're worried about their taxes, or they need to apply for a loan and they need their financials caught up. So they usually wait until they're in some kind of a pain point to get their books done. So almost everybody that you come across, not only will you get to charge them your monthly ongoing rate, but you'll also get to charge them a sign-on fee, a setup fee, a backwork, cleanup fee. They're all interchangeable terms. But it's really awesome because it's like a Christmas bonus every time you get a new client, because you can charge that upfront fee for all the work that you're going to do in the past, which is really awesome. I usually don't include this on the first slide that I showed you guys as far as reoccurring income goes, because it's so hard to predict how much you're going to make with this, because every client is different. Every client is in a different situation. And depending on how big you want to grow your business and how many clients you want to work with, your cleanup income is going to be wildly different from someone else. But I want to give you some examples of some initial cleanup jobs that some of our students have gotten, so you guys can have an idea of what that looks like. So the first one I want to talk about is Kim. I mentioned her a little bit earlier, how she got her first client, and it was a $2,200 per month client. So it was a little bit of a larger client. So she actually, hit that first milestone with that one client. She joined our academy October 17th in 2022, last year. So she's coming up on a year in business. And she got her first client about 6 weeks after starting, and then immediately was at $2,000 a month in reoccurring income. once Kim started to dig into this client's books, we helped her realize that the previous bookkeeper did not do the previous months of 2022 correctly. So we were able to help her put together a proposal and a cleanup list. And she told her client, hey, look, I need to go back and clean up what this person did. It's not right. And it's going to cost about $9,000. And her client literally said, okay, go ahead, take it out of my account. Let's get it done. I need these done. I need to apply for loans. I need to be able to have these financials ready. So I remember getting on a call with Kim and I was like, awesome. Did you get that money in your bank account yet? She's like, no, I'm so nervous about running it. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, he told me to go ahead and do it, but I just can't believe he would just let me take that much money out of his account. So it was really funny because these business owners understand the value, sometimes even more than we do at first, because they understand the pain. And so she was able to end up just taking that money, processing that. We show you guys how to run payments. So that way you can just pull the money right out of their account with their authorization. They usually have to sign a form, but she was able to get that money. So in her second month, so before she even finished her second month of the Bookkeeper Academy and her second month in business, she made $11,000, over $11,000. So this stuff is very, very possible for you guys. So if you get one of your first clients has a big cleanup job like that, your investment in the academy is going to be covered for months and months and months. Or your second client, you get one like this, and then you can start dumping it in savings or knocking off some of those bucket list items, or being able to quit your job right away because you've got this cushion. And you know, if you have all that time available to work on your business, you'll be able to replicate this client time and time again. So really, really exciting. She was able to make over $11,000 by 2 months in the academy. And then Alicia is another example. She joined our academy on November 18th. And so she's kind of coming up on her first full year in business as well. The first 3 weeks she was in the academy, she was focusing on setting up her business, getting her back office ready, learning the things she needed to learn. And then she launched her marketing plan that we helped her develop on December 15th. And it only took 4 days before she got her first client. This client was also a little bit bigger than the average, but smaller than Kim. So she was able to charge about $1,500 a month for ongoing services into the future. But this client was behind 2 years in their bookkeeping. They were a little bit smaller, like I said. So she charged $6,000 as a cleanup fee to get them started. Of course, we helped her quote them. We helped her with all that kind of stuff. But she was able to bring in $7,500 in her first month in the academy and her first month as a business owner. So it would be really, really nice to be able to just dump that in her savings, utilize it for the monthly payment, utilize it to be able to maybe quit her job, those kinds of things. So this one's pretty normal, pretty average. I'm going to show you guys one that's just crazy, but I want to show you the potential of these opportunities are out there. So this is Jennifer. That picture's not her, obviously, but Jennifer is a student who joined our program on August 12th. And I remember hopping on some calls with her. She was kind of struggling with mindset at the beginning, wasn't sure if she was doing things right, was kind of afraid she wasn't going to be able to find clients, things like that. And we helped to kind of reset her. We helped her tweak her marketing plan. And then all of a sudden, she just started to explode. We call it the snowball effect. Once you start to get some momentum and traction with your marketing, you will experience what our students experience called the snowball effect. And it's just basically where nothing happens at first, but as you're rocking and rolling, things start getting bigger, more clients come in, and it just starts really taking off. So by December 12th, on her the 4-month mark, she told us that she got her 5th client. This 5th client was a big one too, paying $2,200 a month, but they were actually so big and so behind on their bookkeeping that she was able to charge $32,000 for a cleanup job for this client. Now I interview Jen on my podcast, so you guys can watch that. I can send out that link later today. Or you can go to our YouTube channel. But she talks about how she broke that out into 4 monthly payments for them. But she did receive all of that money. So technically, she earned over $34,000 in her 4th month. And if you calculate that out, if she does $2,200 a month times 12 months, plus the $32,000 cleanup job, she is effectively going to make over $58,000 literally just from this one client. So that's really exciting. Obviously, a $32,000 cleanup job is not normal. That's like above average, but we do see most of our students get cleanup jobs that range anywhere from like $1,500 up to $10,000. Those are very, very, very common. And like I said, 9 out of 10 clients that you have are going to need cleanup jobs. So it's really a great opportunity for you guys to be able to hit some of those bucket list items, build up your savings, pay off debt, all that kind of stuff with literally just the cleanup jobs. It's so awesome. So you don't have to wait until you build up that reoccurring revenue to start knocking off those bucket list items. You can actually do it with your cleanup work, which is fantastic. So here's kind of like a recap of the 3 ladies and what they made. But when these ladies got these potential clients, we helped them understand how to handle all the steps leading up to getting paid and all the steps that come after. So for example, we help them understand how to conduct the new client discovery call and ask all the right questions. And then we were able to help them put together proper quoting and a proposal, and then be able to present that to the client so that they were able to easily explain the value so that the client would say yes. And then when they had the clients and the client said yes, then we help them understand how to efficiently onboard these new clients, get all the information that they need from the clients. We showed them how to break down the cleanup job into efficient, manageable, step-by-step process. And we help them understand exactly how to do the cleanup work in the accounting software, how to do the ongoing monthly work so they can make a minimum of $100 per hour doing this work. But most importantly, we taught them how to find these clients as well, which most of you probably know that is called marketing. So this next section is really all talking about marketing and how we teach you how to find clients. But before we dive into that, I'm curious if you guys got one of those cleanup jobs, like 6,000 or 9,000 or even 2,000, what would you guys first do with that money? Assuming, let's say you already paid off the academy investment, what would be the first thing that you would do with that cleanup job money? Type that in the chat real quick. Everyone thinking? So many things that you would do with it, you just don't know for sure. Would you pay off debt? Would you just put it in your savings? Would you quit your job? What do you think you would do if you actually got a $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000 or $6,000 cleanup job? Stacy said, take a vacation, pay off some debt. John would take a vacation to somewhere he's never been. I love that. It's awesome. Savings, financial cushion. Brittany would pay off debt, plan to quit my job, travel. Love that. Awesome. Save some, definitely pay off debt and take a 24-hour trip. I just learned about that. Oh, fun. Yeah. Quick 24-hour trip. Okay, great. This is awesome. So now I want to just talk a little bit about marketing and how to find clients. For me, this is my passion, my biggest passion, because if you understand how to find clients, you will always and forever for the rest of your life be in control of the money that's coming into your family. I oftentimes give referrals to our students when people come to me wanting bookkeeping help, but I really feel like it's very important for everybody to learn how to do this marketing, because then you are never dependent on anyone else ever again for the money that you have coming into your life. So we teach marketing and we're very serious about it. And there are 3 main methods that we do teach. They're all either completely free or super cheap. And you can choose to do all 3. If you do all 3, you are going to just have faster results. But if there's 1 or 2 that you just don't resonate with in the beginning, that's okay. You really can even have success of getting to $100,000 in your first year, even only doing 1 of the methods. We do recommend that you spend about an hour a day on marketing in the beginning and be consistent with it so that you can build momentum and some traction and then go from there. The more that you spend on the marketing portion of your business when you start out, the faster you're going to grow. So however much time that you can squeeze out, but we really do suggest, like, at a minimum, you need to squeeze out like 45 to 60 minutes a day on marketing and try to be as consistent with it as possible. That's where you start to build momentum. So let me go over these 3 main methods. And then at the end, I want you guys to tell me which of the 3 that you would be planning on doing right when you join the academy. So the first one that we teach is organic social media marketing. And there's typically no cost associated with this. We don't recommend that you run ads. Bookkeeping clients they don't respond well to ads, and it's a waste of money, but this is all free. This is organic social media marketing. We help you utilize the platforms that you are already familiar with, and we help you find and connect with business owners. And then we help you post content that actually gets business owners interested in reaching out to you. So you don't have to spam people, cold message people, although cold messaging sometimes does work. We have a unique strategy around that, but mostly it's posting things and growing your network so that potential business owners will be intrigued by what you're sharing and want to reach out to you for more information. So that's the first thing that we do teach. It is very, very quick, very easy, and very free. So the next thing that we love to teach that our students are getting massive success with, and that I had massive success with, is networking groups. So typically these are in person, these are local. Some of them are virtual, but most of them are in person. We help you create a strategy around finding and attending these groups so you know exactly how to make the most use of your time. When you're in here, you connect with other business owners. We show you how to establish referral partners. And so basically everyone in the group is going to be referring their clients and their network to you for bookkeeping. So it's almost like having 5 or 10 or 20 other people doing marketing for you in these groups. And there will only be one bookkeeper in each one of these groups. So you would be like the preferred person. And it's really nice because you can find a group that fits your personality and your style. And it even works really well if you're an introvert, because if you get into a small group, these people become like family to you. And it's really nice. And it sometimes too, once you start working from home, it's a nice break to get out of the house and meet other adults. But there is typically an investment for this amount. It can range anywhere from like $500 to $800 to $1,000 a year to join one of these groups. But when I was in one, I made over $60,000 in my first year just with this marketing strategy. So it was really awesome. Terry is getting in our academy, has had a ton of massive wins. She just made $7,000 last month. She's only been in our academy for about 4 or 5 months. And last month she made $7,000 from referrals from her networking group, which is really great. So that's marketing option number 2. Marketing option number 3 is all email marketing. So we show you how to find mass lists of business owners by industry and a massive list of people that offer tax services. And then we show you, and we have examples of doing email campaigns to these 2 different target audiences. And when you run these email campaigns to the business owners, then they're interested in booking a call with you, learning more about your services, and then that's how you get clients there. But then what's really cool about the tax offices, I don't know how many of you guys know this, but you can't get your taxes done until your bookkeeping is done. And a lot of tax offices don't do bookkeeping. But even the ones that do bookkeeping get so bogged down during tax season that they usually have a handful of bookkeepers that they outsource work to or refer clients to, because their clients can't get the taxes done unless their bookkeeping is in order. So if you can have a referral relationship with a handful of tax offices, you're going to get clients all the time. So for example, Kaylee Douglas, who we're going to Jamaica with in a couple of weeks, she ended up creating a partnership with a tax person in her area, and he has consistently sent her clients every few months. She's getting several clients. So she hasn't actually had to do marketing for quite a while, which is really exciting. So we really help you learn how to solidify those relationships, set them up appropriately, and then be able to put your marketing on autopilot. And this method is very inexpensive as well. You can use some programs that would be like anywhere from 25 to 50 bucks a month that are like month-to-month fees, or you can do it all manually as well. So it can be very inexpensive. So let me know in the chat, do you prefer doing social media marketing, networking groups, or email marketing? And would you do 1, 2, or 3, or 1, 2, and 3, or 1 and 2, or 2 and 3? What would you do? Type that in the chat. And don't forget, if you guys have questions on any of this, please let me know. I'm happy to answer anything. Combination of all, says Stacy. Yes, John would do all 3 methods. Great. All 3 for Brittany too. Fantastic. If you guys are all in to do all of these, boy, are you going to have success. You guys you don't even realize this now, but you're going to be asking us about how do we hire people to help us like so quickly. Dinah in our program, she has been in there for, I think maybe 4 or 5 months already. And she's already hiring contractors because she's been doing all 3 of these methods. There are so many clients out there. It's awesome. Okay, great. Would you guys like to see now how our team supports our students like you to help them achieve all of these results? So put a thumbs up or an emoji in there if you are ready to see exactly how we deliver all of this to you and help you reach all of these goals and set the foundation for your bookkeeping business so you can eventually one day sell it for millions. All right, lots of thumbs up. Love it. Okay, so the first thing that we do is we run some of our support out of this private members only Facebook group. It's called the Piece of Cake Support Group. So we make this a piece of cake for you guys to have your cake and eat it too. And so we actually deliver all the support in there. Currently, right now, that Facebook group is almost like a knowledge base as well. Being able to search in that group to get answers is really awesome, but you don't have to. You can actually just post questions, and every question that gets posted, we treat it like a ticket. So I'll show you on the next page what like a ticket submission looks like. But in this group, there's about 200 people in there that are in their like first year or growing their business or in their second, third, or fourth years. We have even Kaylee Douglas that I mentioned, she's in that group. So you would be able to not only collaborate with other people that are growing their business right alongside you and in the same stage as you, but you'll be able to work with people that are now making $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $500,000 a year. And they literally all started right exactly where you guys are right now. And you'll be able to collaborate with them. And sometimes we have them on as guest coaches as well. So you get to learn from them. Kaylee comes on every couple months and does a coaching call and shares her best tips and practices. So it's really nice to be able to learn from everybody and have that sense of community. We also have about 8 different team members, coaches, mentors. Everybody's either an expert in growing a business, growing a team, or actually doing bookkeeping. And so you're going to have access to all of those people to support you the entire time. So this like really solidifies the foundation of your business. And, you're going to be able to like take this and use it forever, for years and years and years into your business. And honestly, too, guys, you're going to be able to utilize the stuff that you learn in this group to be able to guide and consult your clients as well, because most of your clients aren't even going to know a lot of this stuff, which is really cool. It makes you a very valuable, trusted resource for your clients. And another reason why they will never want to leave you, which is cool. But back to the ticketing submission. So we treat every single question that is posted or submitted in this group like a ticketing system. We even track everything, which I'll show you on the next slide. But for every question you post or submit, we answer all of them. And they can be related to any topic you can think of. Some examples are sales, marketing, quoting, QuickBooks Online questions, maybe technical bookkeeping or technical tax questions, workflow, mindset, anything you can think of that's related to growing a business and juggling this with your family and your life. We support. We've been asked it all. We know how to help you with everything. We answer questions 6 days a week. Everyone's off on Sunday, but if you do post anything on Sunday, it does get answered Monday morning. And if you ask a question between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern time on any of those days, we are currently in our 6th month in a row of having a response time of 45 minutes or less. So you're going to get really fast answers. Of course, any question asked outside of the normal shift hours, we answer it first thing on the next shift. So you're going to get super speedy questions. You can ask questions at any time, and every single one of them is going to get answered. And this is really awesome for you because you're going to be able to find out what you need to know, find out what is keeping you stuck, and be able to move on and go to the next thing. Because that's what happens sometimes when people do it on their own. They get stuck. They aren't sure what to do. They spend hours and hours researching only to get more confused. And then they don't do anything because they don't know what to do. Sometimes it's really nice to have somebody to tell you, yes, this is what you do. Go do it. And that's what we like to provide in the academy, to like really make it easy. Because, you know, as business owners, as parents, as people that are in charge of a lot of things, sometimes it's nice to have somebody just help you out and tell you what to do. So that's what we're all about here. And I have my team graded. We grade everything and grade everybody. And this is a screenshot example from one of our team meetings. But for example, on this one, we had 578 tickets or questions that were asked in this given week. And out of that, 71% of them were fully resolved on the first response. So when you ask a question, we are able to fully answer it within that first touch, which has been 42 minutes, was 42 minutes for this week. Sometimes on occasion, you'll ask a question and we need clarifying information. So we'll give you a really detailed answer and then we'll say, that is a great question. I have these things that I need to know before I can really answer you. Can you answer these questions first? Then you'll answer those questions and then our team will explain a little bit further. And so for completely resolving your question, for the other 29% of questions that needed clarification, we still resolved all of those in 65 minutes on average. So you are literally going to know within an hour the answer to your question to be able to move on to the next thing. What do you guys think about the response time? Pretty cool? Put a thumbs up or a yes or something in the chat so I know you guys like that. And welcome, Stephanie. I see you on here. Awesome. Okay, and then of course, we also have group Zoom calls because sometimes you need to actually hear something or have something verbally explained to you, or you may want to verbally ask a question. So we actually have 7 to 8 different Zoom calls every single week, sometimes more, where you can hop on, you can listen to what other people's questions are in the background, or you can actually, unmute and ask questions as well. And our team is going to be on there to answer every single question, walk you through if you ever get stuck on like a QuickBooks issue or you have a bookkeeping question, we will actually walk you through some of that so you know exactly how to move on and get your answer that way. So our hours and our Zoom call schedule changes every quarter, just depending on typical volume and things like that. They usually last a minimum of an hour. Sometimes they last up to 2 hours, depending on how many people are on and how many questions are being asked. But they are really awesome. Right now, currently, we have calls Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. We have a bonus call for mindset on Friday afternoons. And then for the rest of Q4, we have a Wednesday night call. So that's what the schedule currently is. And it will also change during tax season when we know there's going to be a lot more questions. So these are really great because you can hop on and learn a lot just by listening, but also be able to ask lots of questions too. And then we have a client success director that works one-on-one with you over email, and she helps you with every step of the way during the process, helps you develop your marketing plan, helps you know exactly what to do next in your business. So that way you can stay accountable and on track to reaching your goals. In our program, we have a ton of coursework that you will have access to. But as a busy parent, I know you guys don't have time to waste watching a bunch of videos. So in the beginning, you'll watch some videos just to get acclimated to the basic stuff you need to know, but the rest of the coursework is available in there for you as you're going through the program and the need arises that you need to hear it or see it. So you can work with our client success director, and anytime a question comes up, you're like, "Ooh, my client asked me this," or "Where can I find information on this?" Our coaches in the support group can help you, but also our client success director can point you to the appropriate coursework that would be the most helpful. That way it's efficient for you, and you guys don't have to waste your time watching a million things prior to making money. Because as you know, in college, when you go to college, you're going to learn. You're going to spend so much time learning. Then you graduate, then you've got to get experience, and then you actually start getting paid. It's the opposite in our academy. We want you to learn the basics really, really fast. And here's what the journey looks like. You're going to learn the basics super quick in the first couple of weeks. You're going to set up your business back office so you're physically ready for clients. You'll learn the basics of bookkeeping and business ownership. You're going to learn what it looks like to provide amazing service to your clients. You're going to learn how to communicate intelligently with a potential client, especially if you've never done bookkeeping before. And you're going to learn how to conduct a potential client discovery call. We have a full script so you know exactly what questions to ask so that we can help you quote them. All of that learning happens in the first couple of weeks. So from there, then we move on to helping you develop your marketing plan and start to launch it. And then you'll start to get support, feedback from our team on how your marketing is going. And as you start getting your first few clients, and we'll start tweaking your marketing plan to make sure it's successful and it's working for you. And then usually by month 2 is when we start seeing our students enrolling their first few clients. This is where we really dive in and start helping you learn how to do the cleanup jobs, how to do the onboarding, how to do the ongoing work, things like that. So as a need arises for you to look at a certain video or coursework or training or lesson or something like that, we'll point you to those directions. But this allows you to start making money ASAP. So if you're able to get through all of that setup in week 1, you can start making money in the Bookkeeper Academy by week 2. So as long as you get all of that going and you start moving forward, you can. And then, of course, we help you solidify everything that you're learning with hands-on experience from your paying clients. Then usually like month 3 through 12 is just repeating all of the stuff that you've been doing in the first couple of months, keeping consistent with your marketing. And as you get new clients, we can continue to help you onboard them, show you how to do the work, supporting you, reviewing your work. We help you become an expert bookkeeper, and we help you learn to work with clients from all different industries. So that way, if you decide in 12 months, you're ready to go do it on your own, you will have experience with lots of different industries. That way you can say yes to just about everybody that comes your way, or you can renew on in our program. We always give our second and third year students half price when they stay on for a second year. And then we'll continue to help you with those clients as well. But basically, your whole first year is really going to be focused on setting that foundation so that you have a profitable business that gives you the financial, location, and time freedom that you are looking for. So I talked a lot. I went over a ton. What are your most burning questions? What do you guys have questions about? I want to know. And I'm going to put some links in here too, while you guys are coming up with some questions. Any questions? Any questions? While you guys are typing and thinking about your questions, I'm going to show you how to apply for funding if you're ready to get started. So I'm going to drop this link in here, but please don't hesitate to keep typing your questions and dropping them in here for me. For those of you that are ready to go and you know that you can juggle the minimum payment up to a max of $640 a month for a few months until we can make sure some clients are rolling in, go ahead and apply for funding here. This one, when you apply, since it's the weekend, they probably won't get back with you till Monday. However, you will be pre-approved within just a couple of hours, I think. Yeah, within a couple of hours, you will know if you're pre-approved. It happens automatically. If you don't get pre-approved for traditional funding, you're going to go right into automatically and immediately right into our guaranteed approval process, and you will automatically be approved. And so what you would do from there, once you get automatically approved, is you want to secure your first down payment, which would be a max of $640. Make sure you have that available. Then you'll book your call with the funding specialist, and they will have you submit your first payment, sign the paperwork, and then let us know, and we will immediately onboard you into the program so you can get started right away. So how many of you are going to apply for funding today? It takes about 5 minutes. Just curious what everyone's thoughts and intentions are that are on the call and what questions that you have. So I know, Brittany, you joined us a little bit later, but what are your thoughts? Are you applying today? Do you still have more questions? Irisha, you as well. Do you think you'll be applying? Do you have more questions? What about you, Jasmine, John, Paulette, Stacy? What do you guys think? I am an open book if anyone has questions. You guys are easy and quiet today, but I know there's got to be some questions. John already has the link open. Awesome. I know you're going to kill it, John. It's going to be awesome. So awesome. All right. Maybe you guys are quiet because you're all applying. Open link already too for Brittany. Great. Let's do it. And I appreciate you guys telling me as well. I'm going to turn off the screen share so you guys can see me better. And I'll pull up my funding thing too. I always like to watch for the applications to come in too, so that way we can stay on top of the lender. So that way, if you guys are applying and they don't notify us right away, they usually do, but technology doesn't always work perfectly. So I like to make sure that we notate it so we can watch for it and tag the lender and make sure that it's gone through. So John's applying, Brittany's applying. Anybody else? Irisha, do you have questions? Jasmine, do you have questions? Paulette, I know you're working on that payment. Have you thought of any ideas on how to secure that first couple of months payment? And Stacy, what do you think about all of this? Paulette says, my question is this: I can, in 30 to 60 hours initially, do you have a process for this? I am so sorry. I don't understand your question. Can you retype it real quick? Is it invest? I can invest 30 to 60 hours initially. So you mean like you have 30 to 60 hours that you can work on your business? Like, do you mean like all in 1 week? Like maybe you're on vacation or something, and so you can put it all into practice right then? Oh, every week? Oh man, yeah. I love it. I love it when people have time, because like all these results that I've showed you guys, these are people that they're like struggling to find time to do this. So if you have time like that every single week, oh, it's just amazing. Like I could give you a whole checklist of here's all the things you could do for the whole 30 to 60 hours a week. And you will be coming to me crying, like, I'm not sure how I can handle all these clients. And then we'll have to help you build a team. So yeah, there's so much you could do in 30 to 60 hours. I'll even tell you one thing. I literally wear my Bookkeeper Academy t-shirt when I go places, like the simplest thing ever. And it says, be a bookkeeper on the front. And I went into a bookstore the other day and they were like, be a bookkeeper. I need a bookkeeper. And seriously, picked up a client just because I went shopping. Like they're everywhere. So if you literally put some intention behind marketing and you do something for 30 to 60 hours a week, you're going to be incredibly successful. I'm just like, can't stop smiling because I'm so excited about the possibility and potential for you. Still working on moving stuff around. My goal is to start beginning of November. Awesome. I love it. Obviously I want you guys to start ASAP, but if you guys can get in and get rolling and give yourself some traction before the end of the year, so that way come tax season, you are really open and ready for clients, it's going to be incredible for you. It's going to be incredible. Stacy says, need to make sure I can do the monthly payment the first month or two. Yes, you definitely want to make sure that you can at least, you've got the ability to figure out how to make the payment for the first couple of months, because, life happens and you may get busy or whatever, and you might not be able to focus as much as you plan or whatnot. But so you want to give yourself a little bit of a cushion just in case it takes a little bit longer. The max amount of time I've ever seen a student take to get clients that was really consistently doing their marketing, every day, is 3 months. that's max. And most of the time when students take that long, it's really because they've got a lot of other stuff going on. Like, I'm specifically thinking of this girl, Samantha. She was marketing quite a bit, but it did take her like 3 months. But she was also in the middle of moving. She had a toddler and she was pregnant. So she had a lot going on. But that's really the max I've ever seen. So if you can make sure you guys can cover the first few payments, then, it's going to be really difficult for you to not meet that and be able to use your client income to cover the rest. So, hope to be able to sign up by the end of the month. I love it, Stacy. We are looking forward to working with you. And congrats, Brittany. I did get notification that your application is processing. So great job. You are fast. Irisha says, I want to start now. It's just making sure I can make the payment starting off. Yes, yes. So, some ideas. There's a couple ideas that I have. I know sometimes people have it in savings and they're afraid to touch their savings like it's an emergency fund. But if you can replenish your savings back, like in a short period of time, it would be worth the short term, like borrowing it from it. If you don't have savings, other things that I've seen people do are taking cash advance, paying a couple of their bills that they normally pay with their cash, pay those with a credit card instead for a couple of months. For example, I don't know how much your guys' cell phone bills are, but mine is like $400 a month. So if you switch that over to a credit card for a couple of months, you'd have like half your payment right there in just that one bill. So anything that you could do just to potentially have a little bit of extra cash for a few months, keep in mind that you're going to be able to pay that right off the second you get your first cleanup job. So I know we've all been like hardwired to be really careful about that because we've lived on fixed incomes, but you guys are going to be shifting to having a business where you're in control of your income. And I know that it's hard to imagine that now because you don't know it yet and you haven't seen it, but that's what's going to happen when you start your business. You're going to be able to control the income that you have coming in. So you'll be able to easily pay that off. So that's one thing that you could do, shift around some of your bills, utilize the credit card for a little bit. I've also had students that have borrowed from family members. If family members want to help invest in your business to help you get it started, that's something that you could also do. And the last one that I always suggest that is kind of like a last case scenario would be kind of going out and kind of dipping your toe in marketing and see if you can find a business or two that would sponsor you in exchange for free bookkeeping services. You could see if they would pay for your way into the academy. So I haven't actually seen any students do that or utilize that path, mostly because I think it's a little nerve-wracking for them to do that, just start off without any support. But that's an option too. Or especially if you have a family member that owns a business, maybe they don't do bookkeeping or they haven't done it or they do it themselves and they would be excited about having you take it over in exchange for that. I just feel like you knew that I was just thinking I have money saved, but not sure if I should use it for my payment. Yes. So, in my opinion, you should absolutely use it for your payment, but only if you're planning on really getting in here and doing the work, right? So if this is really what you want to do and you know you want these results and and you can commit to yourself that you're going to do the work, then I wholeheartedly suggest using your savings to get started. If you're not 100% sure, I don't want you to waste your savings, right? We don't want you to just create debt or blow money by doing this program. So the one thing you do have to be sure of is like, yes, I'm going to do the work because this is about you doing the work and you following the process. But if you're all in on that and you're committed to yourself and you're committed to your success that you want to have for your family, then I would wholeheartedly suggest using it. I don't even feel, the slight bit nervous suggesting that because I have seen all the massive results that all of our students have got in our program, and I want that for you. So if you are ready to rock and roll, I would highly suggest just earmarking the savings. All you need to pull from it is $640 for the first one. And who knows, maybe you'll get your first client before the next payment's due, and then you don't even have to use any more of your savings at all. That would be ideal. That's what we would really want. So congrats, John. I do see your application has come through. Excited for you. And Sean, of course, my husband, will be following up with you guys, especially the ones have already applied. So you can understand what the process is with the lender. And if you guys have any questions through that whole thing, it's really simple and it's really fast. And all the lender asks is that you have your first payment ready to go whenever you book your call with them. So they'll be notifying you over email as well. So when they're ready for you to book a call. So yeah, I think it's great. I'm excited for you guys. Anybody else have any questions? Stacy says, does the Academy help with naming your business and setting up a website? Yes, we actually have a whole course on how to decide the name of your business and how to set up your LLC with your name. We also have a vendor that I believe they set up your LLC for you for free if you want to. And then we do have a course on setting up your website using ClickFunnels. So if you want to use that, you can. So yes, that's available in there too. But just to kind of give you some guidance with your name, it's really fun to just come up with a name. I know, like, my husband's super creative. He always comes up with all of our names. But when I started my business, I wanted my clients to feel like really happy, and I wanted them to be like so excited that they hired me. So I named my business Cloud9. And my tagline was, I think it was like, I want them to be on Cloud9 with their bookkeeping, something like that. But, you can make it fun. That's the fun part about it. Don't overthink it. Don't make it complicated or stress about it. Do something that's fun, that makes you excited, because this is going to be your baby. Most of you guys may have kids, but this business is going to be a baby for you too. It's going to be your kid. So have fun naming it, make it fun. This video, I will be posting it on our YouTube channel and sending the link out. So if you guys want to watch the replay, you'll be able to see the replay from there. And that, it usually takes a couple hours for this video to process, but we'll send out the replay as soon as it's done. You're very welcome. You guys have had some really great questions. Anybody else have any more? And I'll drop that link in here for the funding. If anybody else needs to grab it real quick, wants to apply, we'll also send it out after the webinar. The only thing the lender does ask is, hold off applying until you, or at least hold off on booking your call with the lender until you have figured out the exact day that you're going to be able to have the down payment. They don't like to get on the calls unless you guys are like ready to move. But you can definitely go ahead and apply. Even if, let's say, it's going to be, next Friday till you have that payment, you can apply. And then once all the approval goes through, they'll have you book a call, and you can just set the call for the date that you're going to have the first payment available. So congrats, Arisha. We do see your application has come through. Great job. I'm super excited for you. It's going to be awesome. And then I'll drop the link in here too for the podcasts in case you guys want to watch those over the weekend and hear it straight from Jen and Alicia on their big giant cleanup jobs. So you can hear all about that too. Let's see, where did I put the link? Here it is. Copy. Okay. So I'll drop this link in the chat for you. That is to Jen's podcast, and then you'll be able to find the other podcast interviews as well. So you can hear, exactly from some recent students what their experience has been like and all that stuff. It's fun to utilize that and then daydream about what it's going to be like for you and how you're going to be able to relate just to them very soon, because they started right where you were just months ago, which is awesome. All right. Well, if there isn't any more questions, I'll let you guys get to it and having a wonderful Saturday and a great weekend. And we will be back on Thursday. So if you want to join again on Thursday, or if you know anybody else that would want to join or benefit from this, feel free to invite them. And Sean will be reaching out to all of you. So if you have any questions, feel free to text us back. We are happy to answer. And we look forward to chatting with you guys all very soon. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Thank you.